Hey everybody, welcome to the Rise or Die podcast. This is yours truly, Stephen M. Lowisz, for episode 61, Get Mad. I was an angry little sucker growing up. I had a lot of anger issues growing up. Some for legitimate reasons, and others I've just kind of always had a bad demeanor. I'm going to be very upfront with that. I'm a very cynical person overall. At least I used to be more so. I've gotten a lot better. And I just had a chip on my shoulder. Part of it, my dad wasn't around much. He was always working. He traveled 200 plus days out of the year for quite a few years of, growing up. So my understanding of life was that my only purpose was to go make money. And that carried into the rest of my life. Like, by the time I got married, a couple weeks after I turned 20 years old, the honeymoon was awesome. We came back, all I did was work. All I did was work, and it was horrible. And when it comes down to it, I realized, one, I didn't have any purpose. But two, I was just doing what I knew best. Making money was all I knew how to do. Every other area of my life was failing. Body being imbalanced were a joke. I had no relationship with God. In fact, the worst thing I ever did was I started out in public school, then I switched over to a private Christian school in high school. That was the dumbest thing I had ever done. A private Christian school turned me away from God more than anything. Seeing the hypocrisy in a lot of people. Seeing the judgment and condemnation from a lot of people. And I've always been overweight. I've kind of looked at food as as a comfort. Like, nothing else is going right, so I'm going to eat my heart out. And then I resented myself for it. I was ashamed of where I was. And then obviously my relationship with Rachel, my wonderful wife, that was a joke. So when we got married, I turned to work. And I do get the question quite often, why do you work so hard? Why are you pushing? You're going to burn out, yada, yada, yada. I never hear from anyone that's actually successful, by the way. Just those that are already making only half of what I make, and I'm not even that well off. You guys know I'm 100K in debt. Working my way out, but nonetheless, I'm 100K in debt. One of the things that I learned when I got introduced to Wake Up Warrior and then started Invictus, I'm a certified trainer through Wake Up Warrior, blah, blah, blah. One of the things that I learned was that sometimes it's okay to just get mad. Why did I dive into work and then obviously food? And it's not like I'm morbidly obese. I never have been, but I've always carried on a little extra weight. Why? Because I was sedating myself. I didn't want to deal with reality, so I found comfort in other things. But here's the trick. I harbored that resentment and that anger inside, and it festered, so I had to sedate more. And it's a vicious cycle, because then I'm not dealing with the problem, so guess what? I got more pissed. At the end of the day, sometimes it's okay to just get fucking mad. But you use it for productivity. I still have a chip on my shoulder. I still want to make something of myself. I was made fun of a lot as a kid. I want to shove it in everyone's face. Now, that's not the main reason, but it does certainly help. I'm mad about where I'm at in life right now. I'd love to be on a beach sipping pina coladas. I'm not. That pisses me off. So guess what? I'm going to go sell more, do more, and scale. That's how we should look at all areas of our life. Body, being, balance, and business. You don't like something? Sure, get mad about it. Use it as fuel to move yourself forward. It's okay to get a little pissed off. Use that chip on your shoulder to create big shit. Use that chip on your shoulder to go have the hardest workout you've had in a year. Go use that chip on your shoulder to build a business. Now, obviously, there's a time and place. can't be a tyrant. You can't just be an asshole. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is stop stuffing down your emotions and actually start doing something with them for productivity. That's the only reason I am where I'm at. Running 2 companies, doing a podcast. I was mad that no one was coming to market and actually showing how hard it is to be an entrepreneur. And as soon as I recognized it, I said, fuck that, I'm going to do it myself. Use a little chip on your shoulder. We're a cross-body being balanced business. Do you just need to get mad a little bit? Or do you just need to let loose and let the raw emotion out? That's what I've got for you today for episode 61. As always, subscribe at riseordiepodcast.com. Share this podcast with someone. Do them a favor. I'll talk to you tomorrow for episode 62.